So here's the next piece of this. This is just super rich, and we talked about this. Marjorie Taylor Greene is now introducing a bill to audit US aid to Ukraine. And honestly, I kind of agree with her on this one. Like, I'm not against auditing the money that goes to other countries, especially if it's partially for weapons, weaponry, etc. I think that's probably a good thing. And especially because just this year, the Pentagon failed its 5th audit in a row. That's 5 years of failed audits. The Defense Department can't get his books straight. This is from an article that asks, why then can it be trusted with an $800 billion budget? Which is a perfect question to ask. And yet, funnily enough, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and the Matt Gaetzes never say, look, we should rein in spending on defense overall, and in part, we will, cut and or audit the amount of weapons that are going to Ukraine. Like, that's never part of their worldview. No. You say we need to cut the Pentagon and defense spending, you are an anti-American. How dare you? Can you imagine, Mike, if Biden hadn't upped the amount of like the billions that he asked for from Congress for the Defense Department? I mean, they'd jump all over him for being weak. So which is it?
That's a great point. And I agree with you. Like, if she wants to audit our aid, if she wants to audit the entire Pentagon, all the aid that we give to other countries, don't threaten us with a good time. That's phenomenal to be. But you know that the second that the supposed anti-war Republicans like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene hear calls for a cut to the defense budget, they would screech at the top of their lungs. And let me be very clear, if we were to cut our defense budget in half, we'd still be the world's largest military by a mile. Yeah. It's just that we wouldn't be like 8 times number 2, so they're all posturing. And they're not really anti-war. It's just they like Putin and they want their own version of Putin, which they view as Donald Trump. And if we were to flip it and Trump had the second term during the invasion, if Trump were giving aid to Ukraine, which is something that I believe he probably would do because that is what the military-industrial complex wants, they would support it in this instance because they kind of have Daddy Putin. So they're kind of working their way backwards from the conclusion that Biden bad. And that kind of leads them to this really weird, uncomfortable position where, okay, I have to be ostensibly against the military in this instance, but only in a limited way. It's very weird. It's inconsistent. And these people have no core ideological beliefs. They don't believe in anti-imperialism. They don't want to actually decommodify war, which is the issue here in the United States. They want authoritarianism here, and they see Daddy Putin as a very good model in the United States. And it's not just Putin, to be clear. It's Viktor Orban. It's anyone who is very harshly silencing critics and attacking democracy, because they're pretty comparable, in my opinion.